Welcome to High Infidelity, the best cheating videos on YouTube. If you enjoy this content, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let's get into the video.
I, 28 male, just keylogged my girlfriend's 24 female computer literally 5 minutes ago and discovered she's been cheating on me. If you were in my shoes, how would you confront her? Despite the fact that my girlfriend 24 female and I 28 male have been together for over 6 years, our relationship is not what I would call emotionally fulfilling. Many times over the first 3 years of our relationship, I caught her cheating with her ex-boyfriend, but I didn't confront her about it because I thought she was a wonderful person and didn't want to lose her. To be more specific, fast forward 3 years. Despite the problems, I was happy that her ex-boyfriend was no longer a role in our relationship and that I had finally overcome some of the trust issues that I had been experiencing over the first 3 years of our relationship. My fiance was an outspoken opponent of video games back in the day, so imagine my surprise and delight when she ultimately asked that I teach her how to play one of the real-time strategy games that I enjoyed playing in the early 2000s. We play till the wee hours of the morning most days, but since the game was so old, I quickly got weary of it and went on to new games. However, my spouse has continued to play and has made many new friends, particularly in Europe and the United States of America. Then, it would have been perfectly okay. Her establishing contacts on the internet and engaging in a recreational activity in her spare time are completely acceptable to me. After all, she's been out of work for over 4 years and seems to have lost all interest in finding new employment, another issue that deserves its own thread. I get home from work one day to discover that one of her clanmates had referred to her as baby and sent her kiss emoticons through text message. As soon as I asked her about it, she told me that it was a one-way street with this guy and that she had no intention of continuing her relationship with him since he's from a poor Eastern European country and isn't nearly as affluent as you, her words. I'm getting off track, but bear with me. Then followed her more strange and secretive conduct. Whereas she used to often exchange memes and internet stuff with me, she now keeps half her window covered from view, and has even gone so far as to buy a chair with a high backrest that makes it hard to take cursory looks at her computer. So I created a keylogger, installed it on her computer 2 months ago, and quickly forgot about it. That is, until a recent incident 2 days ago piqued my interest once again. I actually just finished examining the logs and realized she's had cam with this man once in the previous few months. I also identified other occasions where they were having chat, but she refused to turn on her cam because her brother is at the computer behind her. However, due to clashing schedules and time zone concerns, we're in Asia, clan is in Eastern Europe. They haven't had the chance for a repeat performance and have gradually drifted away in the previous few weeks, although she now has 2 prospective replacements in the pipeline. I've also noticed that she has deleted all of my information from her actual web accounts. Her official pages have the expected information, in a relationship with me, etc., but her actual internet sites make no mention of a partner and instead allude to the brother she shares her apartment with. It's worth noting that we've been living together for almost as long as we've been together. Needless to say, I'm stunned and enraged. I don't want to lose her, but I'm tired of having to fight for her attention all the time. Furthermore, I technically breached her privacy, which I'm sure she'll bring up in a fit of wrath, mind you, if and when I do decide to face her. What would you say to her if you were in my situation? Can somebody provide me some advice? Is it worth preserving a relationship like mine, or should I run? My intellect understands the answer to that final question, but I think I'm hoping for a little push. After all, I've been in this relationship for 6 years. I feel like we've gone through a lot and don't want it all to be for nothing, but I'm beginning to question if I'm the only one doing my weight in this relationship and where it's all going. Story 2. Need opinion. BF 21 male and 22 female cheating story. I'm a 22-year-old female, and he's a 21-year-old guy. We are both 18 years old in the start. I asked him out, but he declined. The following day, he asked me out on a date. He formally asked me to be in a relationship, and we discover that we are both attending the same college. We participate in a summer program together, and he had lunch with a female. I just discovered out because I was chatting to his roommate, C, in his room about surprising him with lunch. When she doesn't show up, I see he's disappointed. I didn't think it was a date, but I felt uncomfortable and didn't say anything about it. My error for not communicating. He goes out with another female, and one of our common friends sees them out and cautions him to let me know since other people were misinterpreting the message and wanted to warn me about him. He comes in and informs me that he went out with S. I told him I didn't mind if he hung out with his pals as long as he didn't violate any lines. They're still communicating on SC 2 weeks later, and he's been asked to her room. A kiss occurs, and he does not inform me about it until a week later. He ditches me with no reason other than infidelity, and I found out additional information a week later, as I mentioned above. He continues pleading with me to give him another opportunity, and he claims he didn't want to kiss her and that it wasn't consensual. His roommate C informed me how he's been feeling and suggested that I give him another opportunity. I also felt horrible that he referred to it as cheating if he didn't want it, so I offered him another opportunity. As the year progresses, we have trust issues. He's talking to a girl on SC a lot while we're on a date, and I express how it hurts my feelings that we don't get quality time anymore. I ended up weeping in the RR, and he messaged me that he couldn't handle it anymore. We spent a week apart, and when I got intoxicated at a party, and his old roommate C, he supports me. I nearly kissed him drunkenly, but part of me feels I did it because he had been so wonderful and encouraging to me. After speaking with C, I decided to speak with him again and rekindle our relationship. I needed a somewhere to stay in the meanwhile, so he lets me stay with him. While he slept, I searched through his Instagram conversations and discovered that he had revealed to his high school crush that he had emotions for her. I saw that everything was in the past tense, but what stunned the most was that he wondered if there was any way she would have given him a chance. I ended up puking and packed my belongings. The bad side was that all of my friends had left, and I was compelled to work before they fired me for taking additional time off, so I returned and pretended everything was okay for a week. I went overseas and messaged him whenever I could. When I return, he has planned a weekend excursion to commemorate our anniversary. It felt just right. The next Monday, I received a direct message on Instagram from S. They were screenshots of him saying cute to her. I phoned him and told him he needed to come to my office to explain things to me. He said it wasn't him. I believe him and believe the photos were modified since she routinely writes on her page that she pranks people like this for responses. We had reached a point where it wasn't working out since I had been really busy with school and employment in order to qualify for graduate programs, and he had broken up with me. I meet with his ex-roommate C to chat. He admitted to me that my boyfriend had cheated on me with C that summer and that all of the texts were accurate. I drove home, unsure of how I felt. He traveled 4 hours to apologize to me and my family. After a week of conversing with him, I told him we'd see if we could work on anything. We had, and my father and I have a really strong connection. So when he found out, he told us we should get back together and try to make it work if we were going to be together. It's now January 2022, and I've taken the time to think on our relationship and the effort I've done to improve myself. I've been in therapy for 1.5 years, and I know I still have a lot of work to do, but I'm curious what others would do in my circumstance. If you've been in a similar position, or if you're an outsider looking at infidelity tales, I'd want to hear your thoughts as well. A part of me believes I can pull this off, but I'm afraid to trust again.